Hey guys, Breachy from Zigabuzz Media here. Just thought we'd do a bit of a 18-month, well, coming up to almost 2 years, living with the 21 Husky TE 300i. I suppose for those that have been following along, you've probably had a pretty good idea of some of the riding I've been doing over the past sort of 18 months on and off, where I've had a chance to get out and ride. But I thought for others that might have watched the 6-month video, I'd just give you a bit of an update from sort of what I've been up to, what we've sort of done to the bike over the past 18 months or so. So let's get into it, hey? First of all, we probably just kept riding it for another couple of months, stock standard as it was, getting out on the trails. Tried a few different things, been out in the slippery trails, like going out into the bush, and everything was just gnarly and slippery and hard to keep the bike upright, but a bucket load of fun doing singles through some of the local trails. Been out playing around in one of the other local forests around here, and playing in the mines and checking some different stuff out and just exploring a little bit too, which was pretty cool, getting out and just with a few mates and just exploring, which is what this thing's perfect for. You know, you get out, blast some trails, do some singles, do some open stuff, you know, have a bit of a muck around. Like, you know, mine's fully road registered, so I can ride it wherever I need to. I've got the plug and play indicators, I've chucked those on as well. So, you know, if I need to get around, I can, which is awesome. Probably the next big thing we sort of did was in 21, I teamed up with my brother to have a bit of a crack at the Neil Pony Express. Yeah, she was tough, but it was good fun, hanging out with some mates and just getting out there and having a bit of a ride. And, you know, that sand gets pretty damn deep after 4 or 5 laps. All in all, it was good to get out, have a bit of fun. We did reasonably well considering, you know, we hadn't really had any training, we had no real setup, didn't have stag pegs on, suspension wasn't set up for sand. But anyway, sometimes it's more about just getting out and having a crack and enjoying having a ride with mates. From there, I probably decided to get the suspension done. Used Jace from JCP, who also works for Mototech down here in Geelong. You know, just told him what I needed that front end firmed up a little bit. Still like that plushness in the initial stroke, but just a little bit firmer on that sort of thinking about sand and sand whoops and those sorts of things. Just that little bit of firmness through the actual the stroke as it comes back up. Now, I'm no suspension guru, there's no doubt about that, but I just needed to get it set up sort of how I thought. And same for the rear, just sort of to match that front, get that sag and everything set. So I had that set up, went out, have done some rides since, and yep, perfect for how I wanted it. Just really wanted that progressive softness into a lot firmer up top. So just so when I was hitting those sort of whoops and different things, especially in sand, that the front didn't want to sort of wallow out a little bit, this has really fixed that perfectly. So super happy with the suspension. Done a fair bit of motocross too. I did a coaching course with the BCP guys up at City MX as well. You know, it's always fun to get out on a enduro bike and do some motocross. Always a little bit different to the motocross bikes and the boys on the 450s, but you know what, it was good to get out, practice some different things that I hadn't done for a while and just try something a little bit different. And you know what, she's not perfect for motocross by any means, but it still sure works quite well. On motocross tracks, you know, I've ridden at Cruisix, which is more of a sand open track, ridden at Ride Park, ridden at Bacchus Marsh quite a few times, yeah, and obviously out at City MX, and you know what, it's been all right, but you know, nothing like a proper motocross bike would be. It's a bit like the same, you know, proper motocross bike out in the bush. This thing's just brilliant in that tight snotty stuff. What else have we done? So she came up due for a top end rebuild, so you know, around that 50-hour mark we decided to the top end, chuck a fresh piston and ring in, put her all apart. Still immaculate in there, no issues with the piston or bore. You know, decided to just chuck in a freshie anyway. And while I was at it, got a mild compression head set up from Two Stroke Performance. Just really wanted to just get a bit more oil into the motor, as well as just get that sort of that power band smoothness between. I always found there was a transition and you know, a lot of people have said to me, just play around with the power valve. And I've had a bit of a play, but it was still just, there was a bit of a gap, and I just really wanted to just smooth that out. And everyone, as I'm sure a lot of you will agree, have said the TSP heads are amazing. So went a mild compression head, and it's been great, you know. In the tight snotty stuff, it's fantastic. And it's very difficult to actually stall this bike now, which is great. It was already pretty good, but it's even better now. What else have we done? Chucked a fresh set of graphics on not too long ago. So Whole Shot Hog, Moto Graphics down up from Ballarat from me. It put a new kit together, which I'm in love with. Really cool. Got some of the sponsors on there and that sort of stuff, and which is good to give it a bit of a freshen up all around. Got some steg pegs on the bike at the moment. Got some desert steg pegs for doing sand riding, and obviously we also for Neil. So from there, what else have we done? Well, probably the most recent ride, actually, and I haven't sort of been out since, was we had another crack at Neil 2022. So paired up with Scene on his YZ 450 this year, and had a red hot crack at that. Had done a bit of sand practice prior, or tried to. Sand's not my thing. Steg pegs were awesome, made a huge difference. The suspension, chucked a new fresh set of tyres on it, some nice Pirelli MX32s, just the nice mid softs, which were really good to just sort of get a bit more traction. Would have loved it probably a sand tyre, but this will still work everywhere else that I need to go at the moment. Yeah, so we had a good crack. We got 7th overall in class and 42nd total, which wasn't too bad for me. I'm a bit of an old man these days, and it was good just to get out and have a bit of a ride on the bike and hang out. Again, like the first time we did, Neil, just hanging out with mates. My wife came along, Lily, and was sort of pit support this year, which was good to get her to the races. Hasn't been to the races or seen me really ride much since my many injuries previously doing motocross, so it was good for her to come out and support me, which was really appreciated. Like I said, good day out with the boys. Long day, deep sand, technical sand. Not my forte. It takes me a while to get warmed up. But, all in all, we came away with a reasonable result. Probably should have ended up with the 5th, but is what it is. Next year, we'll see how we go. Next year, I reckon we can do a bit better. Anyway, as a bike in a whole, haven't really had to do much to this thing still. We're hitting up to close that 80-hour mark now, getting ready for the oil pump to be changed. Still got the original chain and sprockets on it. I've changed the brake lever purely for the fact that I bent the shit out of it, so I had to change that. Other than that, she's still pretty well as is. I haven't had to really replace anything. Nothing's broken. Stayed together really well. It's all in all, it's a fantastic bike, and for going out on the trails and having a bit of fun. It's light, it's powerful. You can ride it, up in that real peaky power, or you can ride it and lug it everywhere. It's so versatile, and depending how you're feeling, whether you're tired or not, it's for me, beautiful bike. What am I at the moment? I'm sitting around about the 79 kilo mark and about 84-ish, give or take, with all my gear on and that sort of stuff, and depending whether I've got Camelback on. And yeah, the thing just works so well. Doesn't drain me in the bush. You know what, for motocross, she's a little bit harder to ride, but still you can get away with it and have a bit of fun. So fantastic all-round bike, and I can't fault it. Like I said, never had any issues. Everything runs really well, perfectly. I think the only thing I had an issue with is I got a small puncture hole in one of the radiator hoses, and just didn't notice it, and sort of about 10 minutes into a single trail, looked down and it was pissing out of everywhere and all over my boot, and was a bit worried I wouldn't make it back to the car, but we did. We got her back, and we sort of did those hoses and stuff at the same time as the top end, and just did everything at the same time, and put some aftermarket thicker silicone hoses on, which hopefully we won't have any issues again. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there. For those that are hanging around for a couple more minutes, I'll show you my new whip if anyone hasn't seen it, and I am looking forward to making a few more of these trail videos and videos, and some videos on the new bike. So enjoy. Cheers. Well, this is the new whip, the 23 Husqvarna FC 450. Decided I was doing quite a bit of motocross, and thought, well, why not get a motocross bike and get back on a 450, hey? They're a beautiful bike. I mean, seriously, just have a look at it. Got a kit put on by Rival Link here, just to sort of protect the plastics, but the thing's beautiful, well built, nothing exactly like the TE 300. Fantastic bike. I've put about 5 or 6 hours on this so far, ridden it in a few different tracks, and well, the thing's a beast. The thing's pretty easy to ride. I just out of practice on motocross, but keen to get out there and do some coaching and get some more hours on this as well alongside the TE300. So tag along. I'll be keen to be doing some videos on this in the first sort of, 6-month review, 3-month review on this bad boy. But yeah, like I said, it's a beautiful bike for my riding style and ability. Height, that little bit lower. Thing's brilliant, super easy to ride, super comfortable. Coming off a YZ450 previously, which I like the YZ450. This thing's pretty easy to ride, pretty light. I was actually really surprised at how light this thing is. Pushing it in out of the van, it probably feels quite a bit lighter than the 300 even. But anyway, all in all, enjoy. Thanks for watching. Subscribe, like, share, all that good stuff. And hopefully I'll keep making content. It's just been a bit crazy at the moment with work and life and study. But hopefully I'll get around to doing a few more videos and on both the bikes. And see you soon. If you see me around, come say good day. Cheers.